Welcome to the latest Acuity update. I'm the founder, Jonathan Brown. And if you're not currently aware, Acuity is an upcoming fully decentralized atomic swap exchange. So today I'm just going to give you a run through of what we've accomplished so far and what remains to be accomplished before we can launch the exchange with our minimum viable product. Okay, so the basic idea is that the exchange runs as a web app, and you can store your cryptocurrency in browser extensions. So with Ethereum, you would store your cryptocurrency in the MetaMask browser plugin. If you've got cryptocurrency in the Polkadot ecosystem, you store that in the Polkadot browser plugin. And to begin with, the trading will work directly between Acuity. So ACU is the base cryptocurrency in the Acuity ecosystem. You'll be able to trade ACU against Ethereum, but later on we will be adding support for other blockchains such as layer 2 Ethereum like Optimism and Arbitrum. So that will also give us access to ERC20 tokens on Ethereum. And then we can add Ethereum Classic. We can add blockchains in the Polkadot ecosystem. And also we can add Avalanche, because Avalanche also has smart contract functionality in the form of the EVM system. Okay, so I'm going to show you what we've got so far with the exchange. So at the moment, you can create Acuity sell orders, and then these can then be matched by buyers with their Ethereum. So if I select an account, so I'm going to create a sell order to sell Acuity. So I select an account that's provided by the Polkadot browser plugin, and then I can specify how much Acuity I want to sell, in this case 20 ACU. I can specify the account that will receive the Ethereum if everything goes through correctly. And then I can specify the price. So let's say 0.001 ETH for 1 ACU. So then I click Create Sell Order. And the Polkadot browser plugin pops up and prompts me to confirm this transaction. Okay, so I will send that transaction. And then we have an off-chain worker that is observing all of the blockchains in the system. And it indexes what is required. And then it can be queried by the web app. And in this case, it's automatically updated the web app with the new information. So we have one sell order for Acuity. Currently, it just shows the seller as an address, so this needs to be a username in future. And then we've got the price as well. So if I click on this icon, so this enables us to go into the sell order and look at the various locks that are occurring for that sell order. So if a buyer wants to purchase some of the sell order, they need to lock up some of their ETH. So I will, let's say I want to buy 5 Acuity, and I will click buy. So at that point, the MetaMask browser plugin pops up, and I can confirm that transaction. And because I'm running on an Ethereum testnet that has instant finality, so immediately it pops up in the user interface. Of course, in the real world with Ethereum, transactions can take much longer to confirm. So we now have one buy lock for this sell order. So this is the buyer. This is how much ETH they've locked up, and it is locked up for 3 days. And on the other side, we don't yet have a lock of Acuity, but we know that it should be for 5 Acuity. So the seller, they've already locked up their ACU in the sell order, but they need to transfer that to a sell lock specifically to match this buy lock. And in creating this buy lock, the seller, they've actually they have a secret that is the key to unlocking this transaction. But they've taken a hash of the secret, and they've published this hash. So it is known publicly what the hash of the secret is, but only the buyer currently knows the hash. So the seller then has to create their sell lock using this hash that is being provided by the buyer. So if I click on that, so this gives the seller an opportunity to participate and to work towards creating this to finishing this transaction. Okay, so I've submitted that transaction, and that's been confirmed by the blockchain. The off-chain worker has noticed it, and it's updated the user interface. So we now have the situation where both the buyer and the seller have locked up the necessary funds, but only the buyer knows the secret. So the next step is for the buyer will claim his acuity, and that will involve making the secret to be known publicly. Whenever they broadcast that transaction, everyone will be able to see the secret. And that means that the seller can then come in and use that secret to claim their ETH. And then the whole sale will have been completed. So we're getting pretty close to achieving our minimum viable product with the timeout system. So if either party doesn't complete their side of the transaction, you can just wait, and eventually the lock will time out and you can retrieve your funds. And of course, it'll be really useful in the future to be able to configure your timeouts. So if you're trading with fast blockchains, or if you know the person is online, or if you're trading against a bot, then you might want to have a very low timeout. But if you're trading with someone who may not be online until the next day, then you would want to set a high timeout. So it's actually, if you're trading against a real person, you might want to be able to communicate with them and just make sure that they're ready to participate in the trade. Okay, so we're getting pretty close to having our minimum viable product. We've had a few other updates recently. So our code base has been updated to the latest version of Substrate. So if you're familiar with how Polkadot works, there is Substrate, which is really a blockchain construction kit, and it's always being developed and improved. So I've recently updated the code base for the latest version of Substrate. And actually, on the Ethereum side, we've had a major rewrite of the Solidity smart contracts. So this actually makes it more secure. It's a lot simpler and also reduces the gas. So it'll cost a lot less to interact with the exchange on Ethereum. And one other minor change is that, of course, if your buy lock has timed out and you wish to claim your funds back again, it used to be if you're the buyer, you would still have to provide the secret in order to cancel the buy lock and retrieve your funds. However, we made some changes to the Solidity smart contract. So if the buy lock times out and for whatever reason the secret has been lost, you can still retrieve your funds. Okay, so what's actually left for the MVP? So we need to implement the front end. So On the back end, it's fully implemented on both Acuity and on Ethereum. So you can unlock the sell order, and then you can also unlock the buy lock. So that's really just a matter of implementing the user interface. There's some other little things like if you create a sell order, you need to be able to edit your sell order and delete your sell order. But all of this is really just user interface stuff. And also the user interface can, of course, it can do with some improvements. Another thing we need to do is actually implement the inverse of what we have so far. So at the moment, you can create a sell order with Acuity, and then you can then use Ethereum to purchase the Acuity in that sell order. But we also need it to go the other way around. So we need to be able to create an Ethereum order book where you can create an Ethereum sell order and then allow that to be purchased with Acuity. But that's not too tricky, because it's really just a matter of implementing everything the other way around to what we already have. And there's a few additional checks need to occur just to make sure that no one is trying to scam you. So we'll put some extra checks both in the off-chain worker and also on the front end. So we're getting pretty close. So once that's all been implemented, we can update the Acuity blockchain, and then it will be possible to trade Acuity against Ethereum in a fully decentralized way. And then we can start adding many other blockchains. We can improve the user interface. And I think there's a very bright future ahead for the Acuity atomic swap. So hopefully that's given everyone a good update of where we've got to and how close we are to actually having a fully functioning decentralized atomic swap exchange. So thank you very much.